Hello students, welcome to the lecture on press release distribution, and after this lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Understand need for press release distribution in media relations, explain methods of press release distribution, define online press release distribution, describe search engine optimization, discuss new technologies become responsive of black hat SEO methods, explain push down negative links in search engine results. Let's start with the introduction. The press release is one of the most powerful promotional tools there is. With smart distribution, a press release could get business lots of publicity. A press release is simply a newsworthy story or business. Reporters might want to print press release, or they may be interested in interviewing to assess in a story they are working on. Press releases still work. Press releases have been around since the early 1900s. With newspaper readership on the decline, might think that the press release heyday has come and gone. But in reality, the increased speed at which information travels online has made press releases more useful than ever. Formatting press release. A press release is simply a document written in the form of a news story and sent to members of the press. Anyone can write a press release, but it is important to use the proper format. A press release should include source information. Business name and contact information should appear at the top of the release if it is sent via mail or fax. Release instruction. In most cases, want to let the reader know that the release is ready to go live immediately. Headline. Like any news story, a press release needs an attention-grabbing headline. Dateline. The dateline consists of the originating city and the date of the release. Introduction. The introductory paragraph is the most important part of the body of the press release. Body. The remainder of the body should include details supporting the main idea. Company information. The last paragraph can provide a brief background of business. Close. The conclusion of the release should be marked by the symbol. If need to add any notes that do not want published, they should appear at the close. Let us now discuss the need for press release distribution in media relation. There are a lot of press release distribution services out there. When RAN agency use several different services based on the varied preferences of the client. Now, to avoid picking a favorite, but usually liked all of them. The services used most for clients included PR Newswire, the most popular, PR Web favored by the SEO-minded crowd, Business Wire, most often larger clients, and MarketWire. Over the course of the past 5 years, PR Web, owned by Focus, the most, PR Web is one of the most cost-effective services out there for tech startups, and it was really the first press release distribution service to embrace SEO without charging a ton for these extra features. Also, like the analytics provided by PR Web, which are on par with the stats packages offered by others. The benefits of press release distribution are numerous. Here are 7 of them. All business can benefit from press release distribution. No matter what industry and no matter how small or big organization is, can benefit from press release distribution. Press release distribution is fairly inexpensive. Most organizations write their own press releases. The only expense comes with hiring a press release distribution service to get the story in the hands of key media members. We can boost organization visibility. This is especially important for small businesses, but even large corporations need to fight for consumer mindshare. Press releases can establish us and industry expert. Why is it important to be seen as an expert? First, expertise helps gain the trust of customers. Once they trust, they are likely to buy from. But being an expert is also good for media relations. Good press releases can spread far and wide. A while back, talked about the importance of targeting smaller local media outlets. One of the reasons gave is that most major media outlets get a significant percentage of their stories from local media outlets throughout the world. Use news to get more customers. With today's online press releases, the media is no longer the only audience writing for. 80 million people get their news online every day. Investors keep up with the news too. Press releases highlighting the successes and advancement made by organized can be powerful tools for attracting investors. Let us now discuss the methods of press release distribution. The definite style guide to the correct format for press releases based on feedback from journalists and reporters. A conventional hard copy press release is a brief document, generally 1 to 3 double-spaced typewritten pages, announcing news about organization, product or service to media professionals. Email press releases are usually shorter in length than their print counterparts. The majority of electronic press releases sent are 400 words of text organized into 5 short 2 to 3 sentence paragraphs. Information to include in a press release: a compelling email subject, header and headline, a first paragraph that covers the 5 W's: who, what, where, when and why. Electronic contact information including an email address for the press contact and website address of the company. Reporters working on deadline will often choose to call a company representative rather than wait for a reply by email. The mention of key clients or endorsement from a non-biased source like university professional or software reviewer. We should have permission from those sources to use their remarks in press release. A short paragraph at the end of the release containing background information about the company. This might include a synopsis of the activities of the company, how long they have been in business and any area of expertise. Format a release. The first line of the email message should read, "For immediate release," in all caps. Allow one spacer line, then write a headline using a combination of lowercase and capital letters. Allow another empty line for spacing and then begin the text of the release as we show with the city and state followed by a dash. There are a number of conventions for line length of electronic press releases. Express press formats a press release to the style most universal among email readers. Include press contact information, the text of the news release. A reporter reading release should be able to make a decision about story in the first screen of the email message. Finally, close the document with the characters 30 or which are style convention that let the reporter know that they have reached the end of the story. Let us now discuss online press release distribution. One facet of press release distribution is done offline by sending releases to newspaper, magazine, TV and radio shows. A second facet is online distribution. We can accomplish this by submitting press release to one or several press release distribution services to maximize impact. Here is a list of 15 press release distribution sites, a mix of free and paid options to explore. 1888pressrelease.com, a free and paid service that provides a number of options including distribution outlets, visibility and tracking statistics. 24/7 press release, a free and paid service with varying formatting and distribution options. Business Wire, a paid service, requires a membership that will distribute press release to geographic, trade and industry media and search engines. Express Press Release, a paid service that includes distribution to state-based sites, industry-specific blogs and a PR forum. iNewsWire, a free service that will allow submitting one release per week to a global audience. Media Syndicate, a free service that focuses on distributing press releases for small and medium-sized businesses. PR Leap, a paid service that distributes releases to all major search engines, newswires and websites. PR Newswires, a paid service, requires membership that will submit release to a number of outlets including newsrooms, bloggers, financial portals, social media networks, websites and search engines. PR Urgent News, a free and paid service that allows up to 3 live links, targeted keywords and a thumbnail image with each release. PR.com, a free and paid service that provides an option that includes a full company profile in addition to distributing release. PRBuzz.com, a paid service that distributes press releases to online news sites and blogs. PR Log, a free service that allows including HTML links in the press release. Body creates a PDF version of release and allows submitting to specific categories. PR Web, paid services that distribute site to numerous sites and let it track and analyze results. SB Wire, a paid service that allows to submit releases for geographical and industry targeting. They also distribute releases via RSS to numerous third-party sites. The Open Press, a free and paid service that distributes press releases to numerous websites, blogs and RSS feeds.
Hey guys, Matt Loop here. Hope you're enjoying the beautiful scenery here in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to take you on this journey with me a little bit, but I still wanted to provide some value to you today, and just give you a tip and a strategy that you can use right now to get traffic to your website, whether you're a small business owner like a chiropractor, real estate professional, or an attorney, or if you have a home business, or if you're an affiliate marketer, an information marketer. And the tip and strategy that I want to share with you right now is press release marketing. Press releases are far, far underutilized. In fact, in my opinion, they're probably the most underutilized online marketing tool that is available right now, yet they work so incredibly well, and they actually can put you as a center of attention and the authority figure within your local market, or of course within your online niche or industry. Now, a couple press release sites you want to absolutely make sure that you submit to are 188pressrelease.com. Actually, that's 3 8s in there. 1888pressrelease.com, freepressrelease.com with hyphens in between, and also prlog.org. You can also submit a paid press release through prweb.com. That's the one that I like to use, and of course myself and my team massively propagate after everything circulates in PR Web. So that's something that you want to use today within your business, because it's going to help increase traffic and increase exposure. And the cool thing that not many people are familiar with on press releases, even in the most competitive of markets, you can actually sneak onto the first page in Google by submitting a simple press release, depending on how it's optimized and such. So it's a very, very powerful tip and a strategy. Press releases can be about news, announcements for your office or your online business. They can also be about product launches that you may have, but make sure that you do incorporate that today, and hopefully you are enjoying this beautiful scenery. We're here for the next few days, and it's good to take time and relax for yourself, but yet I wanted to take you, and I really appreciate you subscribing to my blog, for the newest tips and strategies concerning online marketing. So again, press releases, submit to the outlets that I mentioned today. You don't have to write everything yourself. You can always hire a ghostwriter to do that for you. So try to delegate as much as you can.
Online press distribution work. There are several websites for news release submission which offer free as well as paid press release submission services. Press release distribution and submission system works as a bridge between online marketers and public relation professionals, popular social media networks, and targeted news outlets and journalists. It is a great tool to obtain press coverage in addition to online marketing. When a release is submitted to a press release submission website, it is first checked by editors for grammatical and formatting related errors before it is published. Advantages of online press release distribution. PR distribution and submission online services are a great source for globally or locally sharing new and valuable information among the targeted market. Online submission of a press release is also a great way to enhance its search engine optimization efforts and increase visibility to a website by anchoring hyperlinks and building backlinks within the body of the press release. But it does not stop there. It is the most reliable way to reach news outlets and to reach journalists and to obtain press coverage. Make sure the PR submission website that you use has an updated press directory. Let us now talk about search engine optimization. Search engines have two major functions: crawling and building an index, and providing answers by calculating relevancy and serving results. Imagine the World Wide Web as a network of stops in a big city subway system. Each stop is its own unique document, usually a web page, but sometimes a PDF, JPG, or other LE. The search engines need a way to crawl the entire city and find all the stops along the way, so they use the best part available links. The link structure of the web serves to bind all of the pages together. Through links, search engines, automated robots called crawlers or spiders, can reach the many billions of interconnected documents. Search engines work website design. If designing website from scratch, we build in on-site SEO as part of the service, but we can also give existing website a health check and edit it if required. A web designer can do a lot to help search engines find and understand website. Link building. Google uses over 200 factors when deciding whether a web page is relevant to any given search. The most influential is page ranking, which Google uses to measure the importance of web content. Social media. Using social media has many benefits regardless of SEO, but search engines are now taking this into account when evaluating search results. A simple solution is to write a regular weekly update and then cascade this to newsfeed, blog, Facebook, business page, LinkedIn, group and Twitter accounts. Honesty. SEO can't seem like a dark art, with many organizations reluctant to say what they actually do. But at Frozen Pebble, we prefer an honest, upfront approach.
Imagine for a minute that you're a librarian, but not a normal one. You're a librarian for every book in the world. People depend on you every day to find the exact book they need. How do you do it? You need a system. You need to know what's inside every book and how books relate to each other. Your system needs to take in a lot of information and spit out the best answers for a patron's questions. It's not an easy job. Search engines like Google and Bing are the librarians of the internet. Their systems collect information about every page on the web so they can help people find exactly what they're looking for. And every search engine has a secret recipe called an algorithm for turning all that information into useful search results. Now, if you own a website, search results matter. When your pages have higher rankings, they help more people find you. The key to higher rankings is making sure your website has the ingredients search engines need for their recipes. This is called search engine optimization, or SEO. As it turns out, most of the big ingredients are known. Let's take a look. First, words matter. Search engines account for every word on the web. This way, when someone searches for shoe repair, the search engines can narrow results to only the pages that are about those words. Second, titles matter. Each page on the web has an official title, but you may not ever see it because it's in the code. Search engines pay a lot of attention to page titles because they often summarize the page like a book's title. Third, links between websites matter. When one web page links to another, it's usually a recommendation, telling readers this site has good information. A web page with a lot of links coming to it can look good to search engines. But some people try to fool the search engines by creating or buying bogus links all over the web that point to their own website. Usually, search engines can detect when a site has a lot of them, and they account for it by giving links from trustworthy sites more weight in the recipe. Fourth, the words that are used in links matter too. If your web page says Amazon has lots of books, and the word books is linked, search engines can establish that Amazon.com is related to the word books. This way, when someone searches for books, that site will rank well. Lastly, search engines care about reputation. Sites with a consistent record of fresh, engaging content and growing numbers of quality links may be considered rising stars and do well in search rankings. These are just the basics, and the recipes are refined and changed all the time. Good SEO is about making sure your website has great content that's supported by the ingredients that search engines need for their recipes.
Now we shall talk about how new technologies become responsive of black hat SEO methods. SEO has always been a tricky business. Not only do experts have to spend time on researching keywords and following the best practices, they have to be prepared for the changes which search engines inevitably put into place. Last year saw search giant Google make two major algorithm updates, Panda and Penguin, that saw many aside a plummet down the rankings as they were penalized by the new rules. This was because the changes were implemented in order to rank poor quality sites such as content mills and link farms down and give more weight to sites that produce quality content. Address problems with the site's ranking. Even some of the biggest sites were affected by the changes to Google algorithms. We read of one which had to be stripped right back in order to change all of the keywords and duplicate pages. A site that is poorly written should have all of its content refreshed, preferably by someone who can write. This includes blog posts and articles, so if a site has lots of content, then it may be a better idea to strip it all from the site and add as get it or different content written. Black Hat SEO. Basically, this is a way of attempting to manipulate the search engine so that it essentially tricks them into thinking a site is valuable. Black Hat uses aggressive tactics and is geared towards a search engine rather than a human audience.
One of the most frequent questions we get at my warehouse here is all about SEO and all about keywords. What are keywords and what is SEO? How do you make the most of it on your site? And we also get questions from people saying, we've had an email promising us an amazing Google ranking from a few dollars here and there every month. Can that possibly be true? Well, yes and no. To some degree, possibly. There are two types of SEO. There's white hat and black hat SEO. But to understand those, you first need to understand keywords and how they work. Keywords are essentially words that people might use in the search to find your website. And we've all heard the term keywords. What do we mean? Well, if you're selling toy cars, then your keywords will be obviously toys, cars, then perhaps die-cast, perhaps miniatures, perhaps small wheels, anything that is in that sort of classic group where people would be chatting to each other, words that might come up in that conversation. In addition to that, you need to think about what's called semantic families, which are the extensions of those keyword groups, and Google really does relish those because it brings people in from other areas. So in our example of cars, your semantic family could be hobbies, it could be collectibles, it could be cherished models of certain makes of car. So you don't just want to be referencing the actual product you're selling, you want to be referencing the kind of people who might be interested in those products. It sounds simple, but you'd be amazed how many sites just repeat the same thing about the same product on every page. And Google's advanced Panda algorithm is much more advanced than that now. And it's not just a case of finding those specific words, it's understanding the context in which those words sit. So, understanding that, what is white hat versus black hat? Now, all we mean by that is white hat is following the rules. It's following what Google thinks a good website should be. Black hat is from the older days when Google, to a degree, could be fooled. And we all know what a black hat site is. You go to a site that's selling top hats, and it says, welcome to Top Hats Limited. We have everything you need to know about top hats. The best thing about top hats is that a top hat is very comfortable to wear. And you've heard, it's not a human site, it's obviously stuffed full of keywords. You get repetition, you get cross-reffing of all sorts of totally inappropriate stuff further down the paragraph. It's not what Google would call a good human experience. White hat is exactly the opposite of that. White hat is a good human site. So it tells me not only about the product itself, it tells me about why that product has been chosen by this particular company, some of its obvious benefits, some of its perhaps its limitations, be very honest. But also make sure that your site is interesting to visit. So there may also be an up-to-date blog with some innovations in that area. But also, you do need your keywords in there. So don't just wander off on some rampage about how interesting your product is without ever mentioning the product keywords. That's the opposite mistake. So if you are selling toy cars, you might introduce it with, welcome to our toy car store. We love everything to do with model miniatures. That's a much more human phrase that includes a lot of the important keywords. So if you watch any of the other Google videos, you'll see people like Matt Cutts, the search guru, talking about a good human experience. And we will keep banging on about this in these videos because that is what is rewarded with the Panda algorithm.
Push down negative links in search engine results. It is tough to deal with negative criticism, is not it? Regardless of how old we are or how seasoned we become, it just plain hurts to see someone talks bad about me, especially from those that we feel got it all wrong, which is most of the time right. Drat. Got it all wrong, which is most of the time right. Drat. Although there is no strategy that will work 100% perfectly, have used some of the following strategies that have worked with great success with clients. Social media profiles. The first strategy is to create as many social networking profiles that can fully populate and use. The last part is the most important, as creating social networking profiles. Just to create profiles is not nearly as important as creating ones that will actually be used. Start a blog. Write often. This is one of most valuable allies to pushing down negative search results and can even be strategic by using keyword research tools or even using Google AdWords. Never reference or link to them. This is one of the biggest mistakes that most people make that can really stop their efforts in cleaning up their search engine results. Never link to the offensive or negative blog posts or websites. Engage and reward the positive results. As we see positive results either in forums, blogs or tweets, we should quickly and directly engage, thanking them for those results. Go one step further and blog about the positive feedback or use it in other collateral. Create media coverage page. One strategy that has worked is to create a consistently updated media coverage or press page that showcases the new and exciting positive references to business or brand. This can easily be done and easily maintained. Create a direct feedback loop. Sometimes what people most need is a way to directly contact an organization with negative feedback, and the only problem is that they cannot find it on website. Clean up old pages or change them. It is incredible how many old and archive pages is the source material for negative feedback, and all we have to do is either clean them up or edit the actual slug or direct link to cut the power of the direct link for search engine. Now in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. A press release is simply a document written in the form of a news story and sent to members of the press. Anyone can't write a press release, but it is important to use the proper format. Email software allows a user to set limits on the size of messages it will download. Since many individuals do not change the default limit on their email software, long messages are turned catted. Press release distribution and submission system works as a bridge between online marketers and public relation professionals, popular social media networks, and targeted news outlets and journalists. Many internet-based newswires offer press releases submission services to organizations all over the world. However, only a few of them offer elite features that truly benefit its clients' public relations efforts. The sole purpose of a search engine is to provide with relevant and useful information. It is in everyone's best interest to ensure that website is listed in the organic search listing. The only expense comes with hiring a press release distribution service to get the story in the hands of key media members.